Women are women! Get a women are women!
Hey guys, welcome back to another Off the Cuff. And today is just a quick follow-up from yesterday's video about the older gentleman who had the argument with the trans person, the guy that was wearing the Star Wars top. And I just wanted to give you some information that was not out yesterday. So the guy's name is Don Sucha or Suka. He is a Vietnam veteran, 78 years old. Happened in Aberdeen, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest. And the trans person that he was speaking to, the name is Tiesa Meskis. Now, Tiesa Meskis is a councilwoman for Aberdeen, Washington. So we now know what the sign read. If you were born with a dick, I don't know why that's so difficult to say. I just feel like it's a bit weird on YouTube. Then you are not a chick. So yeah, Vietnam vet. And she came out and she said this.
What he wrote there was so demeaning and so dismissive of who I am and who any trans woman is. I would really like them to open their eyes and their heart and see that, you know, we are people, we are who we are, and all we want to be is accepted in our community.
And he came out and he said this.
I don't care what they do, but don't come in here and complain to me about stuff. I have free speech.
Zucker says anyone who disagrees with him does not need to spend money at his store, where that sign was still visible today.
And everybody's loved it. Everybody's taking pictures of it. Everybody laughs.
Not everybody loved it, as we saw.
Well, yeah.
And some people think it's hurtful.
Well,
he told us that this hurt.
But here's the thing. I don't give a about feelings anymore. I'm 78. I went to Vietnam to fight for all this. Do you think I care about some feelings? Absolutely not.
Supporters of the Councilwoman are planning a protest out in front of the store Saturday morning at 10. Don Zucker says he is calling on some of his backers for a show of support at the same time.
So yesterday, I brought up a point which at the time I thought maybe was a bit much. Maybe it is. But it was just kind of a base level, not metaphor, but kind of a way of associating it with another example in a different area. And I said, you know, expecting people to call you miss when you're 6'3", you're built like a brick outhouse, and you're clearly a bloke. It's not about just having respect for that person. It's also about having respect for yourself. And if you think that something is absurd and you're kind of forcing yourself to play ball because of the media or, you know, how people have acted around the situation, I said yesterday, you know, if you came out and pretended you're a different race, that would be equally absurd. Anthony Brian Logan is a conservative pundit, and he actually said exactly what I said, which was, if you saw a black dude and he was like, I identify as being white, I have gender dysphoria, I have not gender dysphoria, let's say race dysphoria, so I'm going to wear a blonde wig and I want you all to call me, I don't know, whatever, and from now on I am purely white. Most people would feel pretty uncomfortable doing that. Whether there's other people around, whether it's something to do with a medical thing, it's just ridiculous. And I feel like he summed up the sort of, it was a pretty simple point, but he summed it up fairly well.
How about me? I identify as a white man. Right now, I identify as a white man, and if you don't believe it, then you're a racist. You're all kind of X, Y, and Z, obes, and this. Maybe, just maybe, when I say I identify as a white man, maybe somebody doesn't really believe it. And that's their right to believe it as well. It's your right as an adult, in my opinion, to identify as whatever you want. If I identify as a white man, I put a blonde wig on, is that going to fly? Is anybody going to take that seriously? I'll be like, no, I'm white for real. This is how I identify. I'm white. Both of my parents, they're white. Yeah, I'm just white. That's it. Is that really going to work? I can do that if I want to. Nobody's saying you can't do it, but is it going to work? So let's not compare apples to oranges, seriously. And if somebody was racist, I'm not going to have this whole big thing going in there, calling the news. Nah, people are going to see that they don't want to go to the store and they go out of business.
Yeah, I feel the same. I just think people are overcomplicating this sort of thing. How long do we let this go on for? You know, how long are we just gonna confuse our children and poison their minds? You know, I don't mean any offense to anyone that genuinely has gender dysphoria, but you know, to the people that seem to do this as a sort of fashion, and the people that support this. No, I'm not talking about supporting people that have gender dysphoria. I'm talking about supporting this burgeoning, you know, massive business of, you know, supporting and supplying transgender people that don't necessarily have gender dysphoria, or at least proven. How long are we gonna let this go? You know, without anybody speaking up. You know, the old dude, the vet, Mr. Suka, maybe he went about it in a bit of a blunt force way compared to how many of us would have done it. But what's worrying is, you know, this person, whatever her name was, Tiana or Tianis, she's a counsellor. We see it more and more, perfectly entitled to be. But you know, if other people don't do things, this is what happens. If no one takes a stand, you know, and this is what happens. Then, you know, they're a counsellor, and then they're coming in your shop. And I know that I believe that she said to a news channel that she recognised his right to freedom of speech, but she just wanted to explain to him why he was wrong. But it didn't come across like that. And, you know, like I say, he was a bit blunt with her, so who knows how it would have gone if he was calmer. But, you know, I can also understand what it must be like for someone like him. You know, those were not exactly the brightest of days for people, the Vietnam War. And, you know, to sacrifice what he did, rightly or wrongly, in terms of the big picture, doesn't matter. He was willing to sacrifice it, and now he sees what's happening. And he was probably like many of us, like many people that were kind of happy to go along with it for a bit, as to not hurt people's feelings and to, you know, be kind and all the rest of it. But then it comes to a point where you realise that if not now, then when? If not now, then when? And, you know, these are your kids. Or if you don't have any kids, your nephews, your nieces, your friends' children, your future leaders. If you're not willing to stand up for that, then what are you willing to stand up for? I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the fact that this counsellor has called for people to support her outside of this shop. We know what's going to happen. It's going to be another, you know, incident like the spa where the guy flopped his twig and berries out, and you know, there was a lady who was appalled, and she had her young daughter with her, and then suddenly everybody protested outside, and it's been, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks now. They're just trying to destroy their business. We know that's what's going to happen. They'll try and destroy his business. Yeah, like will other people go along as well? Will people go along to support him? Is it going to get violent? You know, I just don't know anymore. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm glad he took a stand. Maybe he could have done it in a bit more of a tactful manner, but, you know, if you're not going to take a stand, then I don't know what you do anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon.
Winston stopped writing, partly because he was suffering from cramp. He did not know what had made him pour out this stream of rubbish